Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Octavian. Thank you very much for joining me for yet another episode of 100 Casts. It's great to see you. Really, thanks a ton for being here. You, whoever is listening to me right now, whoever is watching, you are great. And I'm glad you came along. This one was sent in to me by Zac Jungle, who is playing Zac Jungle. Never would have saw that one coming. And actually, it looks like we might have a bit of an invade coming out from red team already. Just some vision into the Krug's camp. Nothing too surprising there. Very aggressive, immediate run out of the base over there. Gets over there before even a minute on the clock, though. No fear from this Jinx walking forward for a rocket here or there as well. Bullies away the brand, and there's a brand in this game. So that's a thing. That's something I will want to keep my eye on. I haven't seen Brand played in quite a long time since back... Oh, the hook flies out. Nice sidestep from Neandali. And I haven't seen Brand played since the time when it was sort of flavor of the week. I can't even say flavor of the month because it didn't even last that long. But flavor of the week-ish to be playing Brand support, where he did decently well because of that percentage damage in his passive, meaning that he had innate damage without having to build it, which is always a wonderful quality in a support, and then he did have CC. But his downfalls were the same that you'll find in mid-lane Brand, which is that he's very, very easy to gank for the majority of junglers. And Skarner perhaps going to have a bit of difficulty earlier on, but alongside Alessandra, post-level 6, Troll Act, the Brand there is going to have quite a difficult time avoiding those kind of ganks. Oh, that is unfortunate. The ward didn't quite get in the bush. Hook flies out. vermilliontiger not quite catching that one on. Some great names in this game here. Ooh, interesting choice there. By temp name 9236. Well, someone had a name that I didn't approve of, but interesting choice by temp name to go with the repost first against a Kennen. Now level 2 is gotten, and he's going to be dashing on in, and that repost has really paid off. He's blocked 3 autos so far with it. That was actually a really, really interesting idea right there. Oh, pardon me, that was the boom on the mic tilting over. I got too excited, and the mic fell apart a little bit, but it's all set. It's back where it's supposed to be now. And I did get a new boom for my mic, by the way. There's a way to introduce that. So you may notice a little bit of an increase in quality. It's supposed to prevent popping. So when I go with p sounds and b sounds and talk about the prevention of popping, you shouldn't be able to hear those quite as harshly as you used to before, which is a very good thing, in my opinion. I have listened back to a few test recordings on it, and it does seem to be a good amount nicer, so. vermilliontiger is still looking for the hook here. A few autos land on Curdo. That is one of the downsides of the Volibear support. He does not have a ton of presence against a Caitlyn. At least not this early on in the game. He will become a tanky menace, and can be used as a decent engage, but against a Caitlyn, it's just going to be a harsh landing phase. The hook flies out, going wide to the right again. And a lot of this... Whoa! Flash forward from Curdo, actually knocking him back under the tower with that flip. Exhaust traded both directions. The flash has not been burned yet, neither has the heal, so Boom HS Dar is still holding on to those ones. The Power Fist is up, but vermilliontiger is not turning around to use it. The heal is burned. Neandali steps forward perhaps a little bit too close, burns his own heal as well. Here comes Zac Jungle out of the jungle. And the red buff is burning onto Curdo. He already burned Flash to make this happen, so there's nothing left to get him out of it once it goes south. And the timely arrival of Zac Jungle to the bottom lane provides first blood for blue team. Good job keeping an eye on the map there, and it's fortunate for him that he was on that side. But here comes Aobs out of the jungle himself, does land the slow with that spike. Here comes Zac Jungle for the knock-up, and the zap from far down the lane is not going to land. And it seems like every time we swap up to the top lane, temp name is using that riposte once again. Most underrated of Fiora's abilities, and really, really valuable against a Kennen. I'm realizing now in this particular game. I've always wanted to try building an AP Fiora and call it too slow, because that's what she shouts whenever riposte lands onto a target, so just continually shouting too slow at your enemies. It wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't. But it would be funny. But don't do it. Your friends will hate you. Your teammates will despise you. Your enemies will love you. And you will likely end up losing those games. But anyways, on to a bit more relevant content. It looks like Troll Act is maxing the Pillar of Flame first, which is an interesting move. It does have the highest base damage if you choose to max it first. And so that is the reason why a lot of brands like to do so. However, it's also the least reliable, in my opinion, because it is the easiest of all of Brand's basic abilities to dodge. Obviously, one of which is targeted, so that's not very easy to dodge, and the line from his Q moves quickly enough that it's really not a simple matter to dodge that one either if it's lined up correctly. Whereas the Pillar of Flame, they have to be in the act of doing something else. They have to be engaged otherwise for it to really reliably land, which is possible. When you see them come up for a CS or something like that, you can shoot those kinds of skill shots. The Cho'Gath Ruptures, the Brand Pillar of Flames, things that have that sort of choreograph before they show up. Often best thrown out while the enemy is slightly distracted with some other matter. So a little bit of a tip for you there. As we return to the bottom lane. And then to the top lane, as directed camera cannot seem to choose where it wants to look. Woo, the hook flies out. Niandoli just about sidestepping that. And bottom lane is starting to go pretty well in blue team's favor. They do have the CS lead still. Not too surprising with a Caitlyn versus Jinx laning matchup, especially considering the Volibear support and the zoning potential that a Blitzcrank can add there. Ooh, Tempname has hit level 6, but so has the cannon. Ice Dogs pops that Slicing Maelstrom as here we are in the bottom lane once again. Aod's coming in, this time looking to try and pull back the lead for red team, and it looks like he's going to be able to at least pull out one kill. The second kill will elude them as a zap flies into Caitlyn's backside. And the pressure really paying off there for Aodar, or Aobs. Okay, Aobs, that's what I'm going to go with for this Skarner's name. It's got some vowels in very strange places, but I think I've dealt with worse. Dragon is getting burnt down. The Jinx, very, very good at taking those sorts of stationary objectives. Tempname is turning back around, going onto Ice Dogs despite the fact that it's a 1v2. Gets the kill, flashes out. Can he survive the stretching strike? Does land. Zac Jungle does not have the slingshot up to chase afterwards, though. There it is. It does just come off cooldown. Sidesteps, but not far enough. Zac Jungle with a giant squish and a very, honestly, slightly disgusting squishing sound. Takes down the Fiora and gets himself another kill. 2 kills so far this match. One of them being First Blood. He's doing quite well in the Andaley now. In a lot of trouble tosses out. The Flame Chompers does hold up Miley Dyrus, but if Boone can just land another few auto attacks... Oh no, he's not level 6 yet. I thought he was going to be able to pull the ace out of his sleeve. There's the level 6. But Jinx is heading on back home to base. Ah, the boom. The microphone boom. I need to tighten this thing better. Maybe find a screwdriver or something like that. But that is a matter for another day. Today I am shoutcasting. And hopefully not hitting the mic again. Because this thing is very fragile, apparently. I'm a very expressive caster. I'm never on camera when I cast, because I don't have a very good quality camera. Still working on that. But I do like to gesture with my hands. I think maybe I have a little bit of Italian in me, because I wave my hands about like a wild man whenever team fights start happening. Yeah, very into the match. But that's what makes a good play-by-play caster there. It's one of the things. Ooh, there's the hook landing onto Niandoli. About half of his health chunked away, but now Boom is getting tossed back in like a bag of potatoes by Kurdo. A crit lands on a Miley Dyrus. There's a rocket or two on the Boom. There's the ulti. It flies in and it gets the kill, Niandoli. With the accuracy when it counts. Picks up the double kill and excitedly shoots on out of there with that movement speed buff. Here comes Zac Jungle though, and he is doing huge damage. Good lord, the early damage from the Zac Jungle is intense. The red buff is burning. The stretching strike does not connect. Niandoli does manage to break that Zac passive before going down. And just one more auto attack. Rampage for the Jinx. So close. Bit off a bit more than he could chew, though. Stomach could not stretch large enough to hold both a bear and a Jinx. Here comes Tempname out of the bush. Ice Dogs does manage to chain the stuns, though. Very nice cannon play there. Burn the Slicing Maelstrom, though. And Blade Waltz is still available. So despite the well-managed Marks of the Storm, Ice Dogs is still in some trouble here. The aggressiveness that we've seen Tempname put out. There could be a dive up in top lane's future. Oh, hook flies out, doesn't quite land. Some vision control goes on down in the river, and Harass continues on up in top lane, but I'm not sure how much it'll stick. Not only is Fiora passive coming into play, but there is... Well, actually, no, there isn't some lifesteal yet. Just has the Tiamat, not yet into the Ravenous, but that CS lead, good God. This Fiora is starting to make quick work of the top lane. And it seems that Kennen is just too slow to keep up. I'm sorry, I keep harkening back to it, but I really want to see an AP Fiora. I really want to. Somebody do that and send me that replay, please. I'll get back into the game now. Zac Jungle off to the side, stretching strike actually gets cancelled out there. And it's not available. He has to walk around the corner, and that means that the Blade Waltz is going to be able to get that kill. And Skarner, coming from the Tri-Brush, they might actually go for the dive onto Zac. He still doesn't have Cell Division back up. That's a long cooldown, and he burned it in the 2v1 bottom lane. Stretching strike is there. He leaps onto both of them. He has no fear, but he immediately gets suppressed, and there's no mana left. There's no mana left on this Skarner. He can't take the fight. Zac Jungle goes in for the 2v1, and he comes out alive, more than alive. He comes out thriving with the double kill, placing that slingshot exactly where it needed to go, and there's the Jinx ult. It gets flashed away from Miley Dyrus, getting dove into the tower. Whoa, that ace in the hole. The minion damage. Follow up from the hero cannon minion. Finishes off the kill onto Jinx, and Blitzcrank with a 1-2 punch takes down the bear. Boom HS star. Very well timed flash. And the ace in the hole comes out at just the right moment to let that cannon minion do the last bit of dirty work. Well played. By blue team's bottom lane, here comes Allegeans, though. The ult is up, and Trollhacked he is in a 1v1, whether he likes it or not. He does land the stun, he turns on the Pillar Flame as well, and chunks away a good portion of the Lyssandra's health in return. He has that blue buff, and he has a few biscuits to munch on. So he might choose to stay around in this lane. It's a bit dangerous. He doesn't really know where the Skarner is. The last time he was seen was up in top lane. Pardon me. That was a good while ago. So without vision, you can see the Brand is playing very safe on the map. Way back towards his turret. He does, if he was paying attention to that fight in the top lane though, he does know that the Impale is down. Yeah, and he's going to head on back to base. Just after pushing a wave up, so he did actually come out ahead in that. Because his Ignite is still up, Lyssandra's is burned, and not only that, but he got to stay around in the lane long enough to push up another wave and deny some CS. Which has been working out very well for him. He's got a 20 CS lead or so. Blue buff will go over to Allegeans. And it looks like he's coming down to the bottom lane for some roaming action. Ice Dogs is down here as well, but there's the Impale immediately onto the cannon. Slicing Maelstrom gonna be popped, but Kennen is going so very low. The ult flies past, hitting nobody. Niandeli so unlucky with that shot as Ice Dogs just about dodges it. Here comes the zap. That doesn't connect either. One kill so far. Still going over to the Jinx, who's solo tower diving. I don't know if that's the best idea here. The heal is popped. His Piltover doesn't quite connect onto anybody. And with the bolting chains of lightning still running, Kurdo and Niandeli are going to continue on with the push, get the minions under the tower, look to maybe go for a dive here, actually. If Boom stays around, he could be very much in danger of a bear in his face. There's the slow from the zap, it does connect. Niandeli is going to keep on going with his chase, but Boom breaks vision in the bush. And a lot of warning pins from Allegeans and Kurdo. Keep his ambitions in check. Niandeli will step back after taking down the bottom lane turret. And on a different note, the Ravenous Hydra has been completed for Tempname. That is a huge power spike. Not only because the lifesteal is there now, which is a big deal for a Fiora in lane against a Kennen. Even this far ahead, still annoying to lane as Fiora against a Kennen. Those auto attacks coming out all the time. But also because Ravenous Hydra really synergizes quite well with a Fiora. Every proc of Blade Waltz procs the Ravenous Hydra, the AoE burst damage from it. So you do a huge ton more damage when you have that completed. Kurdo, oh, he doesn't make the flash over the wall, but he does have The Chosen of the Storm passive up, so he's regenerating a lot of health. The same cannot be said of Allegeans, though. He's forced to go into the ult to keep himself alive. The dragon does go down. Skarner getting the smite secure into that one, but it's going to be at least a 2-for-0 trade for the dragon, as well as top lane turret, though. With this Fiora running rampant, nearly twice the CS of her laning opponent. Nobody can stop that champion. Temp name is making an absolute wreck of top lane. Ice Dogs has been having a very rough match. In a matchup that should have really gone his direction, Kennen can usually bully a Fiora away. But just not enough presence, and that interesting level 1 pick by Tempname to go with Repost first, that, it doesn't seem like much, but that actually probably helped secure this lane quite a bit. Good use of the Repost and the just solid positioning in the lane during the early game has really allowed Tempname to snowball out of control here. Doesn't have a ton of kills, but just the CS lead is leading to the fact that he can just leap in onto Ice Dogs whenever he feels like it and go for that 1v1. As you saw there, the Ravenous Hydra was proccing with every sweeping slash of the Blade Waltz. And that plus a lot of swords means that Tempname is going to be able to take the kill, take the blue buff, despite Brand's efforts at a steal. And we return to a bit of a quieter moment on the map. We can take stock of where we are overall, 8-8 in terms of kills, but where they are matters as much as how many there are. On the side of blue team, it's a 5-1-1 Zac, and just a few kills spread here and there. Oh, speaking of Zac, he's coming into less bounce immediately, doesn't even hit Tempname with it. That was a strange fight. Okay, he's still coming back in with the slingshot. Tempname turns around himself, though the Chilling Smite does land on him to slow him up a bit. So far they've traded about evenly. Zac is going to sustain back up some off the minions, and it looks like Tempname will back off. But as I was saying, it's a 5-1-1 Zac versus a 5-1-0 Jinx, and a Fiora who is just dominating her lane. Two carries that can really take it hard into the late game, where Zac might have some trouble with that. Kurdo getting ignited. The Chosen of the Storm is not... Well, it's going to keep him alive, actually. The Ignite burns out before his passive does, so he's going to be able to escape with most of his health intact. Now Boom and Niandeli in a 1v1. There goes the Boom again on my mic as Boom picks up the kill. I'm just going to leave this thing where it is now. The voice quality might be a little bit lower, but you won't be hearing annoying squeaks anymore. This has been the most professional shoutcast I have ever taken part in. It has the Octavian stamp of approval. The hook lands. Allegeans getting pulled in. Does go into his ulti to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but no help is coming. He's going to have to solo this one out, or just escape with the claw. That is always an option for Lissandra. Well, nearly always. In that case, it was definitely an option, and he'll be able to get out alive as Tempname continues on the pressure in the top lane. Taking down another turret, and continually zoning away Ice Dogs, who can do nothing about it at this point, except call for some help from the Zac Jungle, who has a Leandry's completed, good lord! He squashes that annoying French lady. Gets a kill for himself. His 6th of the game. Zac Jungle has been running rampant. The giant green blob man. Oh, comes leaping out of the jungle. Miley Dyrus flashes forward but doesn't toss a hook. Gets slowed by the Skarner as he comes in. The hook flies out and Aeolus dodges it anyways and then pulls him back in with the Impale. You wanted it engage. Here you go. You can have it. You can have all that and a bag of chips. Allegeans shows him the door. It's that way over by where that claw is. You can take it, Blitzcrank, and you can go. And Allegeans will pick up his first kill of the game. Mid lane has been relatively uneventful. As much as I said I wanted to watch this brand and how it played out, just nothing played out. It's been farming. It's been Farmville. In the middle lane, ice versus fire. A farm of ice and fire. Ooh. A few auto attacks in the form of gigantic exploding firework rockets land onto Boom. They're fairly impactful. The crits are starting to come into play with this Infinity Edge build, and then some Greaves on top of that. Oh, here comes Zac out of the jungle, out of his moniker. You can take the Zac out. You can take the Zac out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the Zac. Something like that. Ice Dogs goes down as Niandeli is now in a 1v1 that he really does not want. Bouncing across the minion wave, the ult does not land. Again, and Niandeli flashing away. We'll be able to buy time for Tempname to continue on his path of destruction. Good lord, the inhibitor is now under fire. Oh, boom, Keelan, one more auto. There it is. There's the Piltover. Didn't even need the ulti. Ali Jeans does have the ult to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Zac Jungle flashes the wrong way. No! He's charging up the slingshot, though, and he is going to land it and be unstoppable, squishing yet another opponent, but at what cost? At what cost, my man? Tempname is coming around the side. He's going for the 1v1 here. I don't really know if he can take it, especially not tapping into the turret. The Blade Waltz is up, does some good damage on a Troll Act. Impale from the Skarner will keep him close by, but the flash forward from Ice Dogs, he does not want to let this one go lightly. Turning around, Tempname gets some lifesteal, but then gets absolutely crushed. Zac Jungle comes flying in, getting revenge for his passive. He just hates it when that happens. Oh! As you may have been able to tell by my reaction, I did not expect that. And neither did Zac Jungle. Well shot. Well shot, Niandeli, getting another well-deserved kill. 6-3-0 to the 8-2-2 Zac. The two banks in which all of the money has been stored from these teams. And I really think the investment into a Jinx is going to pay off more than that into a Zac, but we'll have to wait and see. Especially considering the Dragons have been consistently going to red team. Now it's stacking up to 3. It's starting to get pretty dire. Blue team is slowly losing the lead here as mileytigers is slowly losing his health. Boom is losing some of his as well. Troll Act is doing some good damage as mileytigers gets stunned up by the Glacial Tomb. Troll Act goes down himself. No more allies left to be meat walls for him. Skarner escapes with barely any health, and Niandeli will do a little bit of counter jungling to boot. When you're ahead, get more ahead. But there was a Zac in that bush, and good God! What is this Zac damage? What has he got? What has he got? He's got the Magus Enchantment, he's got the Leandri's Torment, and he's got Sorcerer's Shoes. And with just those, I mean, I say just those, that is a decent amount of damage. But no huge AP items, no Death Caps, no Luden's Echoes, no other items that have needlessly large rods in them. He is utterly crushing squishies on the other side while still being moderately tanky. Nowhere near as tanky as if he had built full tank, but he doesn't really need to be. He is providing that damage threat that his team really needs at this point, since there's Fioras who can just do that. 2v1 dive under the inhibitor turret and get out alive. That is a crushing performance. Tempname is really laying it on thick here. Zac Jungle coming out of the jungle once again. I think I've said that like 6 times this game, but it's so appropriate. This is the battle of the tanks right here. And they both walk away because that is how such battles end. Tempname is sitting in the bush, waiting for somebody to come and fall for his trap, but looks like Kennen is going to back off. And red team is going to continue on with this map presence. Going for the secondary turret in the mid lane, take that one down. Jinx gets excited. Very excited about it. Speaking of Jinx, now's a good time to take a moment and look at what Niandeli has been able to pick up in terms of items. That is a Infinity Edge and a Phantom Dancer. Lots of damage there, as you can see on the Troll Act. Boom, HS Star in some trouble as well. The ult from the ult freezing her in place. Kurdo does get hooked back under, though. mileytigers trades a kill back for it, to his credit. The ult freezing that Caitlyn in place. Ali Jeans pointing and clicking like a boss. Here comes Aobs out of the bush. Zac Jungle slingshotting back in. But this whole time, Jinx has been split pushing. If it's not one annoying, loud woman trying to take down your turrets, it is another one. Both of them are crazy. Perhaps the Jinx is a little bit more. Niandeli has nowhere left to go now, but at least trades his life for a turret. Tempname gets pulled in, but that's kind of what he wanted right there. Free gap closer for the Fiora. There's the Blade Waltz. Double kill so far. Can he make it a triple? Can he make it a quadra? Can he make it a penta? Or will he simply die underneath the turret? The shield is there. The lifesteal is there. No, it isn't. He does go down. Ice Dogs with the Zhonya's Hourglass will keep another kill from coming through. But things are starting to look pretty dire for blue team. They were starting to look pretty dire a while ago when Fiora had no one that could match her. And, well, honestly, there's still no one that can match Tempname right now. It is a little odd to be casting for someone whose name is Tempname. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I'm trying. I think I've managed it well so far. We've got some great names in this game. I say that about a lot of games. But you guys keep on surprising me. Miley Dyers, GG, well played. Troll Axe just confuses me a little bit. Oh. Flip from Kurdo. Miley Dyers gets pulled back. Bit a little bit as well. Here comes Zac, though. The exhaust onto the volley bar. Perhaps not the best place for it. Ali Jean's turning around with the ulti onto Troll Axe. The Zhonya's on himself as the Ignite burns onto his enemy. 1-for-1 trade so far. Kurdo got the very bad place, though. No bear can sustain that sort of damage. Oh, and the Andali flashes away after picking up a kill. Turns around with the red buff burning. Oh, the stretching strike play. Zac Jungle didn't quite catch it. Ice Dog's now flashing for it as well. Niandali burning multiple flashes just by being there. As Miley Dyers is going to be the final casualty in this extended skirmish that blue team most definitely lost. Hey, I'm going to wait for some minions. He's got shields, he's got health, he's got armor. I'll go ahead and tank up that inhibitor turret. Go for the inhibitor right thereafter. And as soon as the top lane inhibitor respawns, the mid lane one goes down, and maybe even the bottom lane as well. Fiora is a monster against structures. Actually turns and burns onto the brand. Good damage onto him. Net forward from Boom H-Star. That was really aggressive, but he does have a Zac to back it up. The Piltover comes out, and Tempname returns his focus to the inhibitor, but can he actually take it down before blue team comes out in too much force for him to deal with? He is forced to back away as the hook flies wide. Here comes the claw, though. Tempname is turning back around once again, dancing in and out of this fight. Ali Jeans gets taken down by a headshot as Boom H-Star turns his attention with the ace in the hole onto Skirner. Ice Dog's continuing down the chase, wants to finish off that kill, but that is a tanky Scorpion. And a quick one to boot. Tempname returning from the jungle, gets all of his health back from a minion wave, applies some pressure, some additional pressure in the mid lane where there was already free pressure from super minions now rushing down. Looks to steal some more jungle camps, take every small advantage that he can. And he doesn't even really need to go back to base. He can just keep on laying on the pressure. He could afford to go back to base if he wanted to. Looks like he has the pieces of a Last Whisper there, which would greatly increase his damage against this Zac, who has, after building those damage items, gone straight into a ton of armor. And Zac is kind of the main threat at this point. Which is one of the things I was worried about for blue team. Zac, at 30 minutes into the game, when there's 54,000 gold in the enemy's pockets, is not much of a threat. When everybody's landing at those 15, 16 levels, when everybody's getting 3 ranks in their ultis, when everybody's getting incredibly impactful, you need somebody who can deal with that. You need somebody who can burn through those sorts of tanks, compete with that kind of damage. And while Caitlyn and Brand will be able to, they aren't currently. If you look at the item differential, there's nearly a full Phantom Dancer up for the Jinx right now. Nearly. As well as the 4 dragon buffs in her back pocket means that Niandali is just outshining the Caitlyn, even just by merit of the Jinx kit, the free attack speed, the long-range explosive autos. Jinx is just a better late-game carry. Boom H-Star is getting pulled back in, gets hit up by the Impale, gets burnt down really low, but Zac Jungle is going to the back lines, and Niandali, out of position, will get taken down by the purple blob. The zone used to keep himself safe as Ice Dogs perhaps burns that a little bit early. Tempname now in the back lines, does get burst down himself. The Hex Drinker will not save him, neither will his ult. Zac Jungle gets yet another kill with the shutdown. Zhonya's Hourglass going to be holding in stasis the very low health Lissandra. Zac Jungle in a lot of trouble perhaps. The rest of his team back dealing with a bear. That's a good excuse to not be somewhere. There was a bear stopping you. And actually, with the consistent output damage from the brand, with the threat that Zac alone provides to the back lines on this immobile and squishy Jinx, blue team managed to pull out a desperate team fight. But again, at what cost? They lose an inhibitor turret. they have all 3 inhibitors down. It would take something of a miracle for them to really pull back into this game and pull out a victory. But maybe that's what they're hoping for. Because they haven't hit surrender yet. And you know, until one of the Nexus explodes, one of the Nexiuses? Until one of the 2 giant crystals explodes, the game is not over. No matter how good your enemy, no matter how well your enemy scales into the late game English, I speak it. No matter how many Fioras and Jinxes there are in the enemy team, it is possible to carry as semi-tank AP Zac Jungle. You can do it if you just believe hard enough in the heart of the cards of wrong game. Baron gets finished off by a bite and a smite. Volibear going to be picking that one up, and red team is rushing their way down through the jungle. They do get spotted out by the Wolf Spirit as Zac Jungle perhaps is caught out of position. He is a giant crystalline blob, and he's just going to do his best to try and escape from this unfortunate situation. As Miley Dyers is getting burnt down here by Ali Jeans. Whoa! The damage from Trollack combined with an ulti across the field from Caitlyn does take down the Lissandra. Temp name might be in a lot of trouble here. Goes very, very low. Drops into the Blade Waltz, though, and picks up a kill himself. And now... oh, whoa! Neandali gets hooked! Gets hooked back onto the base! Zac Jungle picks up the kill, but there are 7 super minions. There are no Nexus turrets. And no matter how hard you believe in the heart of the Zac, sometimes it will still let you down. My friends, my name is Octavian. This has been another episode of 100 Casts. Thank you very much for watching, for listening, for being here in general. You are all wonderful. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.